On the programme today, a look behind the scenes with Damon Hill as we see how the Grand Prix weekend unfolds from a driver's point of view, plus transportation and speed for the other flying Finn. We spend time on and off the track with Mika Salo, plus a special look at Formula One medical supremo, Professor Sid Watkins in Formula One People. We'll announce the winner of that fabulous prize, a VIP trip to the British Grand Prix and the World Cup final on the same day, and all the latest news from today's qualifying. And that's where we start today's programme. Qualifying for tomorrow's French Grand Prix finished just a few hours ago. And right to the closing stages, things were looking good for Ferrari. Michael Schumacher in pole position. But Mika Häkkinen hadn't finished and out flew the flying Finn, and as he came down to the last corner, it looked as though pole position was in his grasp, and it was. Mika Häkkinen takes the 6th pole position of his career. So the front row of the grid for the French Grand Prix, Mika Häkkinen in pole position again, and again alongside him Michael Schumacher's Ferrari. Then it's McLaren and Ferrari, Coulthard and Eddie Irvine. Row 3, the Williams of Villeneuve and Schumacher's Jordan. Behind them, Hill's Jordan and Frenson's Williams. Row 5, the two Benettons, Fisichella ahead of Wurz, followed by Alesi's Sauber, Trulli's Prost. Row 7, Johnny Herbert Sauber and Barrichello's Stewart. Jos Verstappen, the new boy, with Olivier Panis. And row 9, Pedro Diniz and Rosset, Arrows and Tyrrell. Then it's Salo and Takagi, and row 11, Nakano Minardi and Tuero Minardi. And now, let's take a lap of Magny-Cours with David Coulthard's McLaren.
I mean, it's always good to start in the front row, and I'm happy about the qualifying result. And like I said, you know, starting from the front row is always a nice thing.
We in the position to give a challenge. We're pretty well prepared for the race. So in the front row, it's as good as it can be. I mean, I don't know what is the gap now exactly, but it's probably the closest gap we have had ever. And with that, we can be very satisfied, particularly looking to the race.
I was hoping that I would be challenging for the pole, and in truth, in that session, I never really was. You know, at no point was I quickest. And a bit of difficulty just trying to get rear stability in a couple of corners, which were key to the lap. But nonetheless, you know, 3rd place in the grid, it's still possible to get a good result from there. And, you know, that's what I intend to do, and get some more points.
You know, a lot of people think that all a Grand Prix driver does is show up at the circuit, get in the car and race. But there's a lot more to it than that in Formula One. So let's see how Damon Hill's Grand Prix weekend unfolds, starting on the Thursday back in the UK.
Damon's weekend begins at Farnborough Airfield. He arrives from Dublin by private jet to pick up his manager Michael Breen, Peter Boutwood and physiotherapist Tony Cannon.
Do the honours. Tony, do you want to... French Grand Prix was the hottest race I've ever done. That was in '94, I think it was. So get me some water. Get me some water. And when I stopped, they were putting the petrol in and everything. And Patrick Head came over with a bottle and stuck it down my neck. And I was going nuts. In my mouth.
It's a short flight to Nevers, just over an hour. Still, time for a quick sandwich.
Look at those houses.
They're weird.
That is weird.
They're like extended caravans. They're horrible.
Just going over the cemetery now. Bonjour, tout le monde. never have to sign an empty canal before. It's not really a racing team, is it? Just to prove we're in France.
Peut-être moins, mais plus souvent. Oh, t'as raison, Fredo. Comme je dis toujours. Prends exemple sur Fredo. T'auras de l'argent à gogo. Tu paies ta tournée, Fredo? Aujourd'hui, non? Ah bon?
Word for weekend. They haven't got a different word for weekend.
Noël?
Trop loin.
Le weekend.
C'est passé. La fête des mères.
Right. I don't have a car pass, we'll have to negotiate. Hello?
Hello? Got to get our car pass inside.
What's this?
Vous n'avez pas de passe pour le véhicule?
Oui, mais je suis un pilote.
Oui, mais il faudrait un passe pour le
passe
véhicule.
demain. Demain.
Ok.
Oui, ça va. D'accord? Au revoir. Sick work.
It's French, is it?
True linguist, yeah. I told him I was a pilot. I mean a pilot, sorry.
Pilote.
No. Short or long? Standard length, right?
First port of call on arrival is the Jordan garage to say hello to some mechanics and his engineer, Dino Tozer.
Dino? Hello.
The afternoon is spent in briefings, and there's always a queue of media lining up to talk to Damon. That evening, a round-table discussion over dinner with journalists and other luminaries. And when the day's work is done, it's off to the 16th century chateau where he's staying.
Well, this is fairly typical accommodation for a Grand Prix. Bonaparte. End. Bonaparte End. He was here last week. He's lasted well. We're in a time warp. Good grief.
Oh, sorry.
Fantastic. Doesn't matter if you stay in a 16th century castle or wherever it's you still get facts. We've got to toss up for these bits. I think that's your bed. Let's go. I'll sort this out. Is that his bed? Where's that rat?
Friday morning, and it's down to the serious business of free practice. But Alan Henry of The Guardian wants a confidential word.
Almost deliberately trying to...
Just before you go ahead,
yeah.
Everything we're saying is being recorded.
To who?
But to that man over there.
To which man over there?
The camera.
For whom?
ITV.
Why?
Because they're following me around.
The usual pre-driving ritual, a massage and quiet reflection.
Round to the left, yeah. Dip the chin down.
Then it's off to the nerve centre, the Jordan truck, for a pre-practice briefing.
No, you put them in your ears. That's where you're going wrong. That's why you can't hear anything.
Friday practice sessions are used to find a good setup for the race. So it's a case of fine-tuning the car over several practice runs, evaluating hard and soft compound tyres and different aerodynamic setups. In total, Damon does 40 laps and ends up 11th fastest. It's slightly disappointing, so Damon spends the rest of the afternoon locked in with his engineers, trying to find some improvements. Work done, it's off home to watch England versus Colombia. Saturday morning, and Damon's got the bit between his teeth. The Jordan Mugen Honda is working well in low-fuel qualifying trim, and hopes are high for a good grid slot in the afternoon.
Engaging very early.
The qualifying hour comes, and Jordan deliver on their promise. Both cars are among the front runners, thanks to some fancy footwork from the drivers.
We're very happy with that result. Both cars well up in the top 10, 6th and 7th. I didn't get my last run in. I had a problem with the car, which I don't know exactly what the cause of that was, but satisfying. And looking forward to the race tomorrow.
Then it's back to the other side of his job and the rounds of interviews, including a live drop-in to ITV's qualifying show.
A few weeks ago, we ran a competition to win the prize of a lifetime. A VIP day out for two at the British Grand Prix and to hop across the channel to the World Cup finals in Paris on the same day. Here's Murray with the answer to all 4 questions and the very lucky winner.
The first question we asked you was who missed the decisive penalty kick in the 1994 final? Was it A, Paolo Maldini, B, Roberto Baggio, or C, Nicola Berti? And the answer was Roberto Baggio. Question 2 was, who's the only player to have scored in every match of the final stages of a World Cup? Was it Jeff Hurst, Gerd Muller, or Jairzinho? And the answer was Jairzinho. The third question we asked you was how many times has Damon Hill won the British Grand Prix? 1, 2 or 3? And the answer is 1 in 1994. And the fourth and final question was, who won last year's RAC British Grand Prix? Was it Mika Häkkinen, Michael Schumacher or current world champion Jacques Villeneuve? And the answer was Jacques Villeneuve. And the winner is Gary Whitten of Tadworth, Surrey, who wins a trip to the RAC British Grand Prix and the World Cup final. Well done, Gary. That's it for a few minutes, but join us again after the break for some high-flying antics with Arrows driver Mika Salo and a look at one of the most important members of the F1 fraternity.
Welcome back. Now, Arrows driver Mika Salo is impressed with anything that has an engine. But like most Formula One drivers, he served his apprenticeship in karting. Murray spent some time with him here at a kart track in Manicourt.
He just loves speed in his Formula One Arrows, in a Hawker jet fighter, in a kart, easy riding on his Harley Davidson or his beloved Ferrari. Now, the population of Finland is about 5 million, and you don't necessarily associate it with motor racing, but what great drivers it's produced. World champion Keke Rosberg, JJ Lehto. Mika Häkkinen is leading the World Championship, and Mika Salo drives for Arrows. What is it, something in the air, Mika, something in the water in Finland?
I don't know, I think it must be, we have a very long winter, it's dark and a lot of snow, and there's nothing really else to do than drive a car. And I've been driving since 5 years old, so I think that's it. We have a lot of experience.
Yeah, but in the Formula One world, we think of you as Mr. Action Man because you're interested in and involved with anything that involves speed, aren't you?
Almost, yeah. It's my life. So.
Motorbikes?
Yeah, a little bit, but not a little bit slower ones.
So, what motorcycle do you ride?
Harley.
Now, why a Harley for a man like you? Because we don't think of it as an out-and-out speed machine.
Because I know myself enough, so I would kill myself with a faster bike, so it's just Harley's not for speed, it's just for slow cruising. Now, they tell me, Mika, that 15,000 people have just turned out in Finland to watch you flying a fighter plane, right? Yeah, that was great.
How did it happen?
Finnish Air Force just asked me to do a little promotion for them. They're losing all the pilots for commercial airlines. Yeah. They pay more, and I don't understand. It's just, even money wouldn't keep me away from those things. It's, they were unbelievable.
Wow, okay.
What about ordinary road driving? What do you drive?
I have a lot of cars. It's really been my life, so I have a lot of different kind of cars.
Like what?
In England, I have one Mini,
yes,
one Ferrari, and...
I just thought you would have a Ferrari. What kind of a Ferrari is it?
It's 355.
Great. And that is your everyday transport?
Yeah, normally, yeah.
Mika, it's a little known fact that I have a friend in Finland, and I gather that you have some kind of pickup truck there which is a bit special. I can tell from the smile on your face I've hit the mark. What is it?
It's a very old 60 model Chevrolet pickup truck, and it has about 1,000 horsepower on it. And
what? How many?
1,000.
1,000 horsepower?
Yes.
And you drive around in that?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Well, yeah, it's a pickup truck.
And everybody knows it's you, I bet, do they?
I hope not.
You're an ex-karting champion. If we go out, let's see how long it takes you to lap me, okay?
Okay, not a long time.
Not long, I'm sure.
No.
A long time ago, when I drove for Tyrrell and Michael Schumacher was still in short trousers, I had a big crash and they were going to cut my foot off. One man stopped it, Professor Sid Watkins, the friend in need for all Grand Prix drivers. He's the subject of this week's F1 People.
Sid Watkins, President of the FIA Medical Commission and Formula One Medical Delegate. What my job entails is to make sure that the local facilities are up to the regulations that's required by the World Governing Body. My proper job's that of a neurosurgeon, so I spend most of my time doing neurosurgery. I write a bit, and with the motor racing I've been doing a lot of research development work with the advisory expert group, and I like to fish. Bernie Ecclestone asked me to do it way back in 1978, and he came to see me nominally as a patient, but I'm sure there wasn't anything wrong with his brain. And at the end of our professional talk, he said, would you like to come and help Formula One? So I said yes, and he said, okay, start next week. He's a man of very few words when he's making a decision, as you know. The staffing at the medical centre is equivalent to that of a top-grade trauma centre or university hospital. In addition, around the circuit there are fast intervention cars. And here in Montreal there are 6, each with a fast driver, proper driver, and a doctor. And in addition, of course, there are ambulances and 2 helicopters. At every circuit we have 2 or 3 teams now that are trained to extricate a driver who may have spinal injuries. What happened in the Panis accident was we managed to get out before the safety car, and it was clear he'd broken a leg, so we sort of patched up his leg and put up a drip, and then brought him back to the medical centre by ambulance, and he went off from here by helicopter to the Sacré-Cœur hospital and had his legs fixed. Bernie says, you know, you should keep doing it as long as you possibly can, because he needs me around to look after his health. I think we're going to go together when we go, probably to Brazil. I suppose the closest relationship I had was with Senna and with Jody Scheckter and with Niki Lauda. We've been pretty good pals together. But yeah, father figure too. All of them, really.
Back here at Magny-Cours, we've got the prospects for a great race. But tomorrow's French Grand Prix isn't the only great sporting occasion in France. Last night we saw a great win for England in the World Cup in the last of the first round matches. Well, the second round starts this afternoon, Italy against Norway on ITV. And here's Bob Wilson in Marseille.
Murray, thank you very much. I've got Terry Venables with me here in Marseille. And Terry, this is where the World Cup really takes off, isn't it?
Yes, my fancy's been tickled in the last 2.5 weeks, and now I'm looking forward to some real excitement.
I'm not sure everybody wants to know that, you know. We've got incredible heat here for this game today, Italy-Norway.
Yeah, it's really, I'm sure those at home would be delighted to hear about that.
But this promises to be quite a start to the knockout phase.
Yeah, there's going to be some fantastic games now. And of course, a great contrast in styles. We have the power and strength and long ball of the Norwegians, and also Italy with craft, skill, and hopefully great imagination. I'm looking forward to it.
And a final thought here at this moment about the feel-good factor back home.
Oh yeah, fantastic. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. A great start, bit of disappointment. We're up again and looking forward to bringing on the Argentinians.
Okay, thanks, Terry. Back to you, Murray, at Magny-Cours.
Thanks, Bob. Now, Martin, tomorrow we've got the prospect of Ferrari versus McLaren. 2 McLarens, 2 Ferraris on the front rows of the grid. Mika Häkkinen in pole position, Michael Schumacher alongside him. How do you see things going?
Well, the championship's come alive, hasn't it? And Schumacher had a very good test here last week, as has Irvine, and they think they're going to score some good points here. The Goodyear tyres are going well too.
McLaren reliability?
Well, that's the key thing, and reliability. Coulthard is going to be wanting to finish a race. But if you saw the Canadian Grand Prix, you know it was very exciting and chaotic at times. Well, it looks very close here in France, just a half a second between the top 4 runners. Join us tomorrow at 12:20 live on ITV. Meanwhile, now a look back at the season so far.
Schumacher.
Coulthard slowing down.
And Häkkinen takes the lead. It's a famous, famous victory for McLaren Mercedes. Coulthard is second.
He's run wide. Oh
no! Off goes Coulthard. Spin. Oh, big one, and that's Schumacher. And Schumacher goes off. Schumacher leading. Oh my goodness. Michael, you've done it. Mika Häkkinen, who's leading the World Championship, is touring. David Coulthard brilliantly wins the San Marino Grand Prix.
And there's Fisichella trying down the outside of Irvine. This is for position. They're going to touch. They're both out of the race.
And Mika Häkkinen wins the Spanish Grand Prix. To McLaren, David Coulthard is out of the race.
Let him through, Alexander. Don't get silly. Oh. Don't be silly.
What fantastic! What guts, what determination, but Schumacher goes again. And Mika Häkkinen wins at Monaco. Go! McLaren's is stuck at the back and off spins a Jordan and Schumacher again. There's problems there, and that is Jean Alesi. Coulthard slows down, Schumacher is ahead. Who says that modern Formula One isn't exciting and dramatic? This is wonderful stuff. And Schumacher nearly loses it. Wow!
Power up and burn.
If you would like to know more about Formula One, the website address sponsored by F1 Racing Magazine is